In today's episode, we have a special guest, Ilana Fass.
Hi guys, thanks for having me.
And we discuss how badly is social media fucking up Jonathan's kids, and will they grow up to be normal or not? We don't know yet.
We also talk about stop blaming the platform, blame the marketer. Hi, you're listening to Jonathan Kahn and Roy Povarchik, and this is Strike Gold.
Episode 4.
And we have a special guest today, Ilana Fass.
Thanks for having me, guys. This is really exciting.
So basically, we are hosted by a beautiful place that gives us this beautiful
crispy
sound.
Crisp sound.
Crisp sound.
Also, you can kind of feel that purr in my voice, right? That purr. Wow.
This is not that kind of a podcast.
I'm sorry.
So we have Ilana here with us, and she's actually a part of the reason we have this beautiful, amazing, crisp sound now.
She's
Ilana,
part
do you wanna talk a little bit about where we're at?
Yeah, we're sitting right now in our podcast room here on Chada'am 54. So now everyone has your address, guys.
Oh, God, they're coming.
And Rise is a FinTech innovation space. So it's for anyone that's developing a solution for a bank or a financial institution. And we help you get answers quickly about your product so you don't waste time developing something that a bank doesn't actually need.
Wow. This is much better than the way we did the
So if
sponsorship
you,
last time.
yeah, no, I basically heard if you're a startup who deals with money, come sit with us.
Yeah. No, if you're a startup, don't need money, but work with money.
Yeah, you work with money.
Yeah. I mean,
If you're just touching a lot of money, but it's not yours, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, what we see in Israel is that the entrepreneur is the career and not necessarily the, they don't usually have the industry expertise, but they're really great entrepreneurs. So they'll come from a different industry and decide for their next startup they want to develop a fintech startup, but they don't really know anything about banks or what we're looking for. So we kind of meet them in the middle there and give them our expertise and use their experience as an entrepreneur to create a really good product.
I think that's the best explanation of what you guys do I've ever heard. I'm not cynical.
Yeah.
Like honest.
Thanks.
Like,
yeah.
We were trying to hit the
We
sponsorship
just
last
said,
time.
like,
and
people, they have seats and tables, and people touch money,
it's
come here.
It's like Starbucks, but
Yeah.
there's no coffee.
There's no coffee.
Actually, there is coffee.
No, I mean, what we saw in London and New York is that the entrepreneurs in fintech are coming from like 30, 40 years in finance. And they will see issues while they're, working at JP Morgan for 40 years and then decide to open their own startup in this field. In Israel, it's not that at all. They're coming from different industries. They've never worked in a bank or really had too much experience in the financial world, but believe in themselves and their ability to create a great company. So we're able to come and say, okay, here are our pains, here are the things we're looking for, and then we're able to really create magic here.
That's actually really awesome because a lot of the banking apps and stuff that I see is so old school that it's just missing something. I'd much rather someone who invented Instagram come and make me a banking app.
100%.
He actually did.
Boom.
It's called Instagram advertising.
That's true.
Great
All
segue.
right.
Yeah.
Like some sort of business, maybe. Maybe they should make Instagram into a business side.
It's a hobby. Don't make it into a business. Nobody would like.
No, and it would never work.
Maybe it's people listening for the first time.
Oh, okay.
Because there's only like 3 episodes. So.
Listen, if you're listening the first time, go to 1. What is wrong with you? Why are you starting from 4? What's happening? Did you forget how to count? Sorry, I just weird for me.
Thank you. You
Jonathan ran.
Thank you. You need time. First time listener.
Yeah,
saying, maybe I'll give them a chance.
It was nice knowing you.
So we're going to sit here and wait for 4 hours so you listen to all the other episodes.
And then come back to this one with the good audio.
Yeah, but we're going to sit down and wait. We're going to be quiet for
all right, so
for a good part of time.
Welcome back, guys.
Yeah. So welcome back. So this is a marketing advice podcast, basically, where people ask us questions about their marketing startups. They need to get users. They want to be creatives. They just need some acquisition. I don't know. Anyway, so this is what we do, and we actually have we had a few questions we were debating before, but
I think we put it through a funnel of like something had to do with me because someone asked a question, then we kind of go through it, and then I said to myself, "This is interesting." So the question that I kind of formed from their question was, my son was born, and I opened him an email and I opened him a Facebook account.
Right.
And I was saying to myself, which one is going to be less appreciated when he gets, of age?
I think Gmail is more appreciated than Facebook.
I think neither will be relevant by the time.
Why not email? I don't understand. What, like, email is
Email's
like
like a key. Yeah,
it's like a key. It's just pretty much it's the one thing lets you. Right now, I mean, Facebook was also like a key in most situations.
No, because you
go
can't.
to these websites.
No, because you
just
can't
get
get Facebook if you don't have an email.
That's true.
I'll tell you that the thing that's not valuable about email is that nobody gives a shit what's your email.
True.
Because it literally would have been like Jonathan's son. I need an email at gmail.com.
Yeah, I think your son will be
And
like,
that's
why? Yeah, why didn't my dad open me a savings account? Like,
Yeah.
No, I did. But
I would rather have cash than your stupid
First of
digital
all,
assets.
Don't assume I didn't.
Or
No.
maybe you're someone off the radar.
I
and
call
you
his savings account.
Yeah.
I just call it like the PR. Like, I've made this decision that for the future is like if people put money on the side for their kids to go to college and stuff. I don't need that. I just need him to get like a good PR agency to like boost him up when he gets out into the market.
So like
I actually
teaching
agree.
him good SEO.
Right? That's really it. Like, what does it really matter?
I actually agree with what you just said because if you build your... I think that in next generations, you just have to build your online brand from really early on.
That's
how you do shit.
Well, yeah, so what age are you going to start teaching your kids kind of like safe internet practices or like good
Now.
SEO techniques?
I already told my kid knows what phishing is.
Now, in these days, this is like the talk.
Yeah. It's
when
like,
we were younger, like
son, I think
it's
you're about of the age.
Yeah.
The age has come. It's time to tell you about the birds, the beads, and leads and fishing. Okay, viruses, some viruses, and we're not talking
All
about
different
STDs.
kinds
I know
of
you know about
viruses.
that.
Right.
Like, also, by the way, like kids nowadays, I think like 10 or already see porn and stuff like that on the internet.
On
So
Snapchat.
I don't need to actually.
Snapchat.
Oh, snap.
Chat.
No, but the idea is like I don't need to have that talk with him. I'm definitely going to have the talk about all these different things. Like if someone contacts you online and says, "Oh, I need your email and password for your YouTube to help fix you with this," and don't give it to them. That's phishing.
I have candy.
I'm like, yeah, I have candy. Come to my website. No. Also, they do that. Also, they have like, well, I guess he wouldn't have a credit card at that time, but they turn around and they give you free shit online. I know people who like turn to their mom and like, they said I can have a free wash. All I have to do is pay for the shipping. And the mom's like, I don't give a shit. Here, take my credit card. And then they basically create a huge lead list with credit cards on them, which is like fantastic. That's one of the amazing things going on online. But you have to have this talk with your kid, and you're like, listen, he went to a game on his iPhone, his iPhone. Yeah, I'm one of those douche parents. Anyway, so he went to the game on his iPhone, and he had like a thing asking for all this information and shit. And I looked at the game; it looked a little like, you know, not invested. Like no one really put time into this game. And I was like, no. I was like, why not? I'm like, they just want your lead. And he's like, my what? I'm like, sit, son. It's time to tell you that the internet's fake. What? Santa Claus is real, though. We're cool. Internet's fake. Yeah, it was kind of weird. But anyway, so going back to the question. Facebook or like email. I guess you're right. Email does trump because you can't make a Facebook account without an email.
But Ilana, why do you think they both be irrelevant?
I think we don't know exactly where it's going. And I think especially with the backlash that's happening right now with digital presence and digital privacy, I think it's a little bit overstepping even to put your son out there before.
Oh, that? No, I
Yeah.
don't really care about that. Like, fine, if a pedophile finds him interesting, that's another line of revenue in the future.
That's how James Gunn lost his job. That's how Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is not happening because of jokes like this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were dead. That's it. That was the last episode we'll ever do.
God, no.
Yeah.
So,
But-
I'm just saying, listen, like, you know, you
So
got
wait, are you using your kid's digital presence to increase your digital brand?
No, he's just texting with other girls. So he's like,
Yeah, I just use his account to get to the old guys. I'm just like, hi, I'm only 7. No. Honestly, to be honest, like, his account has mostly become just a place where he gets collections of all the things he's tagged on. So he has all these images, mommy and I.
Oh,
wow,
it's
so
good.
you're
We have
tagging him on Facebook
No,
already.
He has his own
Facebook,
hashtag
Facebook
on-
has a feature which is called like scrapbook,
Okay.
which you can basically, like, if you have people who are not on Facebook, like your kids, because they're too young, whatever, so you can create a scrapbook around that person, and then he gets the tags, but he doesn't have an account.
Okay, nice.
Really?
And
I don't do that.
eventually-
I just do real old-fashioned...
We have one for Emily, Julie, and we used to have one for Nikki as well. By the way, out of all these 3 names, only Emily is like a person.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. I was going to say,
Yeah.
you have more kids? I've only met one.
No, Julie's our dog, and Nikki was also our dog, but we gave her away to a family.
So now you're tagging her on other people, like you're collecting the pictures from their family?
No, I'm just sending this as a stock photo. No, just kidding.
Nice.
So my daughter has that from day one.
Oh, really? No, okay. So, but I don't even know if it was
everybody's
out when
gonna
I
grow
did
up with it. Like all the other kids right now have the same pictures of them like being 3 days old drooling, and like it's not like us where your parents would kind of pull out embarrassing pictures from your past because everybody's embarrassing pictures is going to be just like online.
I got the
all
old school
time.
story of that. Like my thing was my mom. We were in Brooklyn, so now you gotta get that like vintage look on the video in your head, right?
Yeah.
And we're sitting on the stoop, right? That's the steps in front of your house. Oh yeah. And then my mom would we had the Italian neighbors and all these other like people all sitting on the step, and my mom would be like, "Oh, and this is my son when we took him out of the bathtub," and I was like, "Oh no, mom!" And then she'd just show albums, just naked butt pictures of me as a baby.
But what I imagine is that happening and you're out there still butt naked.
They're still. I'm just saying they're all there. But it was just I remember that embarrassing moment.
But
now my kid has a way cooler than that. Actually, because of Facebook, I don't have any naked pictures of him. To your question, in some way I do actually. Like it's not to my ultimate brand, but in who I am. I was telling Roy this the other day. Like I went to archive in my stories and I started reviewing my stuff from I guess from December.
He was doing a brand audit.
Yeah,
social media
exactly.
accounts.
So I was going
nice,
through it,
good.
and I started noticing that it's me, my kids, and my family. Just that's that's what I'm videotaping, and it's funny because I have a very different perspective than other parents, and just care about giving my kid the right direction and letting him also know that the world is all over the place.
Right, but isn't it kind of overstepping to then already be creating his digital identity online or kind of his personality on Facebook and not letting him do it and just kind of giving him the right tools to do it eventually?
On both situations, I'm not actually touching it. So on his email, I did something which was really emotionally nice and whatever.
But wait, you know what? I think what Ilana is saying something different.
But I'm not creating his brand. I don't
you
actually
are,
write him.
Because, once he's in your videos. Once we see him, he has his own hashtag, Badass Kid 1.
Yeah. Oh, is that his?
He has his hashtag. Yeah, my daughter has Badass Kid 2, and she's Badass Kid 1.
I hope that doesn't create any complications.
No. I do the whole. I do the whole thing 1 to thing 2.
That's
exactly.
very empowering, my man.
There's no difference between thing 1 thing 2, and it's not to say that thing 1 came before thing 2. It's like I do the whole.
So you just pulled math for them.
Yeah, but you mold your kids anyways. Like you dress your kid in a specific way. You give him all kinds of pointers on how your perspective of the world is. I'm saying I've already molded him. He's a monster. They're both monsters. My son is because I would.
Your
do a
son
lot
is
of
so
creative.
much cooler than you.
Yeah, he is. But he also has the look. He's really cool.
Yeah.
But he knows how to lie and have fun with it. I would tell them stories, and I would make up weird stories, and I would take them on weird adventures because I'm afraid that they got their mom's brain and they have no creativity, but they're very practical kind of people. So I'm I'm gonna have to force this creativity on them.
Shout out to Michal.
Yeah,
you're amazing.
My wife. You're never gonna listen to this, so. She hears this all day. Why would she listen to it? Oh my God! Someone died. Sorry, that was my water bottle that we discussed for 20 minutes before this about how it makes noises. Anyways, so.
You're forcing creativity.
Yeah, I forced creativity on him. So taking him and his friend to my house, and all of a sudden the kid would go, "Can I ask you about your brother who was captured by those terrorists and were held into prison for 3 years and managed to escape?" And I'm like, "What?" And then my son quickly puts his hand on top of his friend's mouth and he's like, "Shh, I told you he can't talk about it." And I'm like, "Oh, amazing." This is so cool.
So answering your question, your original question,
sorry.
I think Jonathan has made so much damage to his kids that it is irrelevant just because the kid has went through so much.
He's done a lot.
Gmail or Facebook, that's his least of his problems.
Yeah.
I mean, I read recently about 8 patents that Facebook recently filed, and 2 kind of just came to my mind while you were talking. And one is that one patent is to access to your camera. So when your eyes move away from the screen while you're scrolling through your news feed, they can tell what you're less interested in, what you're more interested in. And then the other is actually seeing how long you sleep, how long you're inactive, and when you randomly when you start going on social media again, when you don't.
Okay.
And
they don't have that one now? That sounds like something they would have now. You're on it and then all of a sudden you're off it.
Yeah, but actually being able to see are you a good sleeper, are you a bad sleeper, how long are you sleeping, things like that.
Because a bad sleeper wakes up and looks at their feed, they're like, okay, I'm
they
good.
check it again, right? But almost like a war of Facebook versus my child.
All right, that's what I was gonna say. It's not gonna work with parents because if they have it, it has nothing to do with how interesting the article is. It has to do with how hard my son hit his sister.
Right.
That's really what it is. They should have a little measuring of that was a level 3 slap.
But I think that our kids it's very different because our kids gonna have screen time. And I don't think you can protect your kids from screen time.
No, but right now you have the new Apple update where you're gonna have to
Yeah,
limit
it's
it. And you can do
But
that.
I want to
blah,
like
blah,
set
blah.
them up to be super successful, like online, but also dealing with online and the real world.
So I
You know,
think
like-
what you can do as a parent is that you need to kind of train your kids to understand how online works. Like for example, so I have a friend, he has 3 kids, and they started doing like YouTube and all that. And instead of just like letting them kind of scroll through every video possible, they have like their own YouTube show where they do like reviews of dolls or whatever.
Wow.
And he teaches them how to kind of leverage YouTube to like how you build attention, how you build an audience, how to structure your show, how to communicate really well. So he basically helps them create like a
Wow.
yeah. So
No, this is like
That's amazing.
I'm looking at you with like a stunned
yeah,
face.
that's like
Yeah.
But I really am, and like that's
so,
really
so,
cool.
So he was
Yeah.
he's basically sitting with his kids and they're looking together on the insights and how you can get more followers and how other video bloggers are doing it and how they're doing the openings and the closings. So for example, one of the stories he told me is that his kid was kind of doing like presenting all her dolls, giving them names, what they do, etc. So basically, they look together at a video and said, maybe let's do it again. Now you give context, like where do you get them, like why are they special? And he was like helping her to build like how do you build like a quality piece of content and how you leverage those social media channels, like for your advantage versus just like scrolling through your feed. I think that what I would teach my kid about social media is that, I think it's what I would teach her about the world in general. It's like if you have 100% of the population kind of thing, 100% of like Facebook, whatever social media users there are, there's only just about 2 or 3% of that are really active, creating content. Yeah, by the way, that's like a number.
That's crazy.
2 or 3% are creating content. So I would be like be the creator. Like you can go on social, do whatever you want, but be the creator and be aware of what you're creating. That would be the only 2 things I'll say. That and like don't answer all dudes.
Yeah, that's important just to
Yeah,
have. I mean, unless they're interested in buying. No, I'm just kidding. And no, but
but I think it's about communication and eventually Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, Pinterest, WhatsApp. There's a list. It's about how you communicate with other people and how you deliver your message based on medium. So I think I would just basically sit down with my daughter and the next bedtime story would be like a Gary Vaynerchuk.
yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Hey, Dad, can we read jab, 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 right hook again?
I was actually I was very interested in what you were saying because like the closest thing to that I met is that there's this little girl in my son's school who sells slime. Now I'm saying this for like when it was the hype of slime, right? She sells slime and she deals it also out. So I'm watching her kind of like she's dealing it. No, why do I say dealing? Because she was like blowing. Like seriously, she would have a phone call on her mom's phone or get like a message to her mom's phone saying that there is someone who wants to pick it up for her school in Tel Aviv. And she lives in Ramat Gan. Like she would be like in a different city.
That's cool.
It's
She
the
would
new
actually go
age
out.
lemonade
And then
stand.
she had her own Instagram channel where she would also deal with the sales of it and everything. And she would promote on Instagram.
What
How
was the
old
name?
is she?
Do you remember the name?
I don't remember the name.
Because I think it's a daughter of somebody I know.
Oh really? I don't know.
Because he was really.
I mean, there were a lot of people doing this.
Amazing.
Like this is like like.
But
a
I love
thing.
it. That's entrepreneurship.
I also love how she
Exactly.
turned around and at one point she changed the sale into like non-toxic or that for your
that's
hands. Like she
brilliant.
knew what she needed to spin it off.
Listen, that's
And then
beautiful.
her little sister, this is a girl who's like in 3rd grade. Her little sister, I looked at the mom, I was like, so that's the successful one? Like, you only did one? She's like, no. The younger daughter who goes to the same class with my son, so she actually does a YouTube channel underneath the dining room table. So it's like her the number one thing is that it always has to be underneath the dining room table.
That's amazing.
And she does this like thing. But I thought like in my perspective, it was kind of like one step before what
And
you were
Frank
talking
would
about.
have crushed that.
Yeah, right?
Dark, man.
I love that. That was
Super
great.
dark.
Yeah. Like, I think we're losing sponsorship right now.
Oh, it was so good. Oh man, just up in the attic.
That's what
I'm
it's
up
called.
here in the attic.
Up in the attic.
Hey everyone, up in the attic here.
It's up in the attic with Anne.
With Anne, yeah, that's nice. It's like
Yeah.
Blossom from that like in the 90s.
It's AF, her initials.
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
attic,
Oh,
yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then now it sounds like badass, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
AF.
yeah.
R.I.P. R.I.P.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, so no, so like I always like imagine that the step would be like to be like you're selling lemonade or you're selling some seashells and then you tell your kid, hey, you could do this online or do this thing or blah 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 or sell bracelets or whatever it is, and you take it to the online thing. But to actually just go on right off the bat to like online and how you're discussing things with who and what, that's kind of like
Yeah.
It's cool. I think I prepared my kids for that anyways. You've seen my kids on social. They're like,
Yeah.
I put a camera on them and they like, ready to go.
Yeah,
Let's do this.
but that kid, that's entrepreneurship like in the digital age, you know?
What, the slime?
Yeah, it's like you don't build a lemonade stand anymore. What you do is that you do like a TaskRabbit app
In
where
2
if you want
months?
lemonade, somebody signs up.
Yeah.
And then it goes in.
In
Brings
2
it.
months, she bought herself an iPhone 8.
That's amazing.
That was nuts. I was
How old
like,
is she?
I bought an iPhone 8 and I was like, whew, that's expensive shit.
How old is she?
She's 3rd grade. I don't know what 3rd grade comes out of. What is it, like 10?
7 or 8. 7 or
No, 7 is 1st grade. I guess like 8 is 2nd. It's a 9.
I think that if you're 9, well, I was about to say that if you're 9 and you're bringing that much money and you're not dealing drugs, then you're doing good.
Yeah. Also,
But,
she's
but
like,
I think 9 is too.
no, you should bring in money when you're 9. No, I actually, when my kid went to 1st grade, I was like, so when are you moving out? Like, I just thought it'd be really cool to get my wife back.
So what do you think is more?
The Facebook or the thing?
Facebook, Gmail, or a profile on all
I feel like a
jobs.
shitty parent now after this talk. I feel like a shitty parent.
Good.
Should have opened an Instagram.
No, you should have.
That was the lesson learned.
You should've opened
Instagram
like
sounds
Should
like...
have bought them some Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Okay, so I saw someone for a Brit Milah got a present of Bitcoin.
That's nice.
And they were like, this is either the best present I've ever given, paid for college, or I just like gave you like 100 check. Like that's it.
Yeah, but so anyway,
Bitcoin.
so
Goddamn.
I think Gmail, just because Gmail is like the key to everything, and
Yeah,
Facebook like
for
would
now.
be a whole different thing. Well,
Until we do the blood samples. Like I'm just waiting for that, where you put your finger on something and it pricks you. And like, oh motherfucker. Hey,
yeah,
how'd it go?
I think that the finger that pricks you, the whole thing, that sounds like the biggest disease spreading idea.
Oh yeah, that's actually.
Yeah,
you know what?
in
I'm
the
taking it
world.
back.
Yeah.
Take it back.
If everyone has AIDS,
I wish
then who really
I
has
actually
AIDS?
kind of wish we could have taken the Anne Frank joke back.
No. I love that. That's the best one.
No.
I actually see it going
we
to
can always
Family
cut
Guy.
that.
Someone is gonna listen to this and hear that joke and be like, "I'm animating."
That's the fun thing about. I think that's the fun thing about like being Jewish or being any type of minority. You get a set of jokes that no other kind of ethnical.
But I don't even see that as a bad one because she did a journal. It's kind of like doing a YouTube channel. Let's be honest.
Oh my god! I'm just seeing like this blog post on Medium. How Anne Frank crashed it with content marketing.
Yeah.
How he should build a brand.
That
with her own.
I would read that.
Offline blog. That's oh, you don't know.
Someone regrets being a
yeah.
guest.
Yeah, she's like, I should have not stepped
Should have done
in.
my due
I'm gonna have to
diligence.
make sure.
I should have listened to 1, 2, and 3.
Actually, 1, 2, 3 were not as extreme. So we actually we were debating 3 different questions, and Ilana was the one who raffled, in a way, which question we're going to answer. So which question is it going to be?
Are you Badass Kid OG?
What do you mean? I don't even get
Or
any
you
of them.
don't get any
I get
of
none
the
of them. I get none of them.
hashtags?
I get badass. I've got badass kid 1, badass kid 2, and I got like hot ass wife. That's what I gave my wife. Kind of like just like that's what she got.
Did she use it?
No, I use it on her.
She uses
She
Me
hardly
Too.
uses.
Okay. She uses it. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
I just try to give that little pep, you know, that little like, oh, I'm looking good today. Okay, so the question basically is with everything that's going on with Facebook right now, with the whole fake news and going on them and them kind of like going more severe with how people are phrasing things online and how you can actually put things out there. Is it worth creating this community there if no one's liking the pages? And also, what's going to happen right now with the advertising and the sales there?
Yeah.
Rory, I'm looking to you.
So,
Because I'm the creative, the idea guy. You're the acquisition, make sure people are buying stuff, making money stuff, growth happening. Yeah, that's how he pitches himself.
Direct quote.
that's in the business card.
That's it. It's on the back. It's a very long card. It's like more like a bookmark.
Yeah. It's not on the back. It's the back.
It's the back.
It's everything on the back. So I'll tell you what. First of all, I think the idea of like social media channels being dead, non-active, whatever. Like I never buy those headlines to begin with because usually it's pretty bullshitty. Like I actually had this blog post that I wrote a while ago because people were talking about how Twitter is dead, and I just had a screenshot of every headline from like 2009. Like Twitter did not even really start before 2010. Like it didn't get any hype, but from 2009 till now, every 6 months there's an article on why Twitter is dead, and it's been like it's been dead for like 9 years now.
Well, it's been dead to me because I'm dyslexic. It's been dead from the beginning. It's like, come on, it's like a book with no pictures. I don't care.
It was not dead. You were just not hitting the right URL.
I'm just saying.
You were just not writing it right. On the Twitter,
exactly.
Twitter. That's what I used to write.
Yeah. You just like misplacing the W.
I just write Bluebird. Bluebird and look for one sentences.
Pretty Bluebird, short. Words,
Twitter,
YouTube. Anyway, so I don't believe that the channel is dead, nobody's using it, etc. I think what's really changing is how you use it. I think every channel gets saturated, and I think that with as marketers or acquisition managers, whatever, you're always playing kind of the gap game. You always have to go where where no one's gone before. No, but you always have to go where there's like opportunity. So Google for now, for example, it's not a good opportunity anymore. Google AdWords is pretty expensive. Facebook is getting more and more expensive. Snapchat is cheaper. Taboola is cheaper, like native advertising. And you always have to think about what's the next thing that's going to happen, because marketers kind of fuck up every channel they use, right? Like once everything gets saturated by marketers, it turns into shit. Instagram, everybody started using the bots, so now half your likes and comments are fake. You see like whatever you take pictures of.
Don't say that. I need that.
It's fake. It's fake.
I don't mind that all of them are companies and some of them are half naked people. I'll take it. I'll take a like.
So I basically think that every channel gets saturated and you have to reinvent how you use it. I also think that Facebook has gone from value giving to hyper monetization. So every time Facebook puts their eye on a product that's working for them, you know it's going to die within like 6 to 10, 12 months. And you know the best thing to do about Facebook is to notice the feature they don't notice yet, or they're really trying to hype. So for example, like 2 years ago, Facebook Live was like the best marketing channel, just because you'll hit it, you get all the notifications, you
They'll
get tons
push
of
you
traffic.
out more.
Right.
So, yeah.
And now people are still doing it, though nobody watches Facebook Live anymore.
Yeah.
I think nobody watches it. It's kind of like...
Yeah. I'd much rather watch Instagram Live, but then even then I'm clicking through the one that's like...
With the sound off. So I think that like in general, the idea is always like, find what's the next thing. And the reason like Facebook Communities is doing so well, because Facebook neglected that feature for so long. And now that...
But is it doing well now? Would you say it's doing well now?
Yeah, Facebook Groups is doing... Listen, eventually every channel can do really well. Depends on who you are, depends on the community you're building. It's not like Facebook is losing attention. It's not like people are not spending time on Facebook.
Communities don't get to... Most of the content you create on the community doesn't get to majority of the people there.
That's bullshit.
What do you mean? You have a reach. It says organic reach. Your organic reach is what? A percentage?
Yeah,
like
but it depends on the interaction. If your community is really engaged, if people are really into it, then people see your... It's not like you're limited to that percent.
No, you're not limited. They're just not going to push it out to all the people who like your page.
Yeah, but if your community is engaged, if the conversation is good, if people are talking to each other, then the exposure would be much higher.
Listen, one of the things that they said is that people don't like pages. So if people not liking pages, don't understand how you're getting it.
It's not that people don't like pages. It's that people don't get value from pages anymore. And I think eventually we have...
Isn't the page the community?
No. There's pages and there's groups. There's different features.
Do people use groups as that?
Yeah.
The company uses a page, no?
Not everyone. So that's the thing about your strategy. I really wish we would have brought that up in like the 3rd minute of the episode.
Sorry.
And at 45 minutes in. But anyway, so no. First of all, I think that most marketers, startups, whatever, are looking at social media or marketing in general so fucking wrong, because they're basically looking and saying, okay, this is what you do here. This is what you do. It's not. You have a platform. You do whatever the fuck you want with it. And you have to leverage the features you have in the most creative or interesting or engaging way for your audience to do things. So I think, as always, I'm saddened to say this, but it's like 10 years that this is like the best guy on social media, which is Gary Vaynerchuk. So think about how he uses Instagram stories. So he invented this whole thing where he does wallpapers on the stories, so you can screenshot and get a wallpaper. This is just an easy thing to say, hey, I want to engage with you. How do I get you to engage? So these are the features that I have. This is what I have to do, right? So he's like, okay, that's what I'm going to play with. That's what I'm going to win with. So the next thing he did for Instagram, because he knows people aren't listening with the sound on for a long time, so he has this set of GIFs of him. So when he wants you to swipe up, you have a GIF of him like raising his hand saying swipe up. And he's basically, instead of using the default things that he has, he found out how he customizes it. And he leveraged that platform in a different way. And eventually the platform you're getting, and this is why I hate when people say email marketing doesn't work, Facebook doesn't work, it's like you that don't work.
Yeah.
It's like your marketing sucks. And like most people who hate emails is because they write fucking bad emails. And I always do this when I give a class or when I do a talk, and people say like, I don't want to get that many emails from any company. I'm like, wait, what do you want to learn? He said, I want to do better paid campaigns. I said, amazing. If I'll send you an email tomorrow saying this is the complete beginner's guide to Facebook ad, will you open that email? I said, yeah. So if the next day I would say like, this is the bidding strategy that will get you a positive ROI of 400%, would you open that email? I said, yeah. If I'll send you later on, said like, use these 5 templates for creatives that will always generate positive ROI, would you open it? I said, yeah. So this is 4 emails that I can easily send. You're going to fucking click on each one. What you're not going to click about is, this is how we do Facebook ad. Our company did this. We just won this award, because you don't care. And every platform, you have to do 2 things. How do you bring value through your content? And I think that once companies understand they have to be selfless and say like, okay, I have this information, this data, this knowledge. That's what my audience wants from me. And you start with that. You don't start with how do I sell. Like, what can I tell them that they want to know about what I do that will make them trust me, but is valuable for them, number one. Then you have to say, okay, this is the platform. This is how it works. What's the best way I can leverage its native features to talk as native in the platform as possible, and to be as creative and different as possible. And also, what are the kind of hacks or the things that I can leverage in the system? So it can be Facebook Live at the time where you had the notifications, where every time you want to draw attention, you would do this. If you are doing a live event now and you're not leveraging Facebook events, then you're missing out on it. Etc. And it's like a lot of people tell me, hey, I run a community. How can I get people's emails, right? Because that's what part. Like I'll just like, you have 3 questions at the beginning. Say like, first question, what's your email? And they're like, yeah, but why would they answer? It's because they have 3 questions, and when you get 3 questions, you answer. That's what you do. Hey, why did you join the community? How can we give you value? I want to send you some cool shit. What's your email? And you collect a lot of emails just like that. But you just have to see what you have in front of you and just have to leverage it. So Facebook pages have been dead organically for a long time. There's still hacks you can go around it. Like one of the best hacks that we always use and like increases the organic reach of every website, every page we've did, is that we always focus on building a mailing list before we focus on social media. Social media is a distribution channel. We want to build a mailing list. That's the number one thing. So we build, and there's like so many easy ways to build an email list. That's easier than building a good Facebook page. So we have a Facebook page, we run it nicely, then we build the email list. And then what we start doing is that we do a weekly poll on Facebook saying, hey guys, what do you want us to answer next week? Instagram stories versus, Facebook Live, which one should you use? And then what we'll do is that on the email, the newsletter that we'll be sending, we'll be like, hey guys, we had this question on Facebook, which one would you rather do? Instagram stories versus Facebook Live, join in the conversation and comment. And we put a link to the Facebook post. And what happens is that because we have like the most my mailing list, like I think it's like 27,000 people. We have companies that have 4.5 million people on their mailing list. So what you do is that you put a link, everybody clicks on it to go and answer. What Facebook sees is that you have tons of organic traffic going to that Facebook post. It says like, oh, this post is interesting, we're going to increase reach, right? And if you do it like 2-3 times, then Facebook understands that this page is highly relevant to the audience it has, and you start up with a higher reach every time, right? And you build that organic. But that's like understanding how the product works, right?
And then utilize it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you just have to think about the platform and how you leverage it. So Facebook communities for a while was the best way to do it. It has the best organic reach. Also, it's the thing people enjoy communicating with it more because you actually communicate with other people. It's not you broadcasting. So I think it's they're gonna kill it slowly with like their stupid new features, because basically they revamp the product and then they're gonna ask you for money. So I think it's a better like what are you saying, who you're saying it to, and how you're smart leveraging the platform. And I don't think as long as Facebook has people coming into it every day, and Facebook is far from being dead on that level, right? It's gonna have a lot of value.
Let me ask you this: I sat with this company. It's a casino company, actually.
Okay.
And I turned around and I just asked them, just for no reason, I just said, so are you guys on Facebook? Are you advertising on Facebook? Are you using Facebook? And when I said, are you on Facebook? Are you guys using Facebook? They immediately addressed the community aspect of it. They were like, oh, no, we're not ready to build a community on. And I was like, no, what? I didn't say community. I just meant, are you advertising on Facebook? There are these companies, I know a couple of them, who are all about just boosting that they create a page, but only for the reference to be able to advertise it.
Right.
And they start advertising on there, and they're all about growing the amount of reach and growing the amount of spend. They're all about growing the spend because they get about 10-15% of that. So my basic thing was, I was like, that's what I was recommending to them. Not to go and create a community, but basically just to start advertising on Facebook and take one of these companies that can boost their spend.
Yeah, but so for
would
me,
you say the opposite? Would you say would you reference that as community?
No, the first thing I would say is that they
Casinos
know. Yeah, but that's all different
Don't lose
thing.
yourself a client.
Yeah.
No, I love casinos.
Yeah.
I love anything with money. No, I'm just kidding. Rise. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. That was my, sponsored by. No.
No, so... No, listen, I think it's a very different world. And I think it's, again, people are just, like, hyped by shit. So now Facebook is promoting communities, so everybody's thinking about Facebook as communities first.
I don't feel, by the way, I'm right now, as just a user, when I'm on there, I'm not, I don't really care about
half my feed
things.
is community.
No, but that's you. I'm saying I'm seeing things that possibly I like the page or something, but it's like things that are not relevant. All kinds of sales that are not relevant. The ads that I'm clicking
because it's bad targeting.
Kickstarters and stuff like that. No, that I love it. It's good targeting. It's stuff that I do want to watch. It's videos about like Kickstarter videos and stuff like that are all over the place. But it's not one brand or one thing. It's kind of like all over the place, and I'm kind of like clicking into the content that's interesting me. I don't follow necessarily communities of companies because it's not.
But because most of them are not good.
Yeah, but let's say there was a company that created like digital marketing for kids community, and it was only for dads to like join and talk and exchange ideas. You probably
specifically
would.
Like
You'd
that.
probably
I'm
be
writing
in
the
that.
book. I wouldn't be there, but I'm just
or
saying.
maybe you'd be running.
Yeah,
that.
maybe
as a way to drive
That's my
traffic to
community.
your-
Maybe
Boom.
that's his community.
Exactly.
Money. I'm sorry.
I think
Ilana just saved your ass.
Yeah, I know.
I think it kind of
God damn.
splits into two. What I'm seeing right now on Facebook is people that are still using it kind of as their digital online presence, right? So they're posting, they're sharing personal, versus people that are using it. Number one is very curated content that goes to their digital brand, but they're engaging in online communities because they see value in that. So let's say they're moving to a new country, they're joining the relevant groups and they're getting value, they're joining that community. So I'm really seeing like those two a lot, and I think maybe the first one you'll see a dip because of the privacy issues, people wanting to share less about posting their favorite song lyrics or whatever we used to do, and more on the going online and engaging in online communities, because you don't necessarily view that as a breach of privacy. Those are things that anyways you would be engaging in publicly.
I think nobody knows anything about privacy though.
Right.
I think people think
Right.
that privacy is like,
Good
I
point.
wrote a post, would someone see it? And like, no, privacy is the fact that
It's your
before that
activity.
you went to a porn site and all the companies know that.
Exactly.
That's privacy, dude.
Right.
All right. I think nobody really cares about the privacy.
Good point. Good
Right. I think I think.
But
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something like when when all the Cambridge Analytica stuff happened, I went online just to see how much Facebook has on me. And I was able to see every single video I ever watched on Facebook, stored by Facebook. Every video I ever watched.
I wish I could. I just want to. Oh man, I
So
watch
you
really
can
good
see
stuff, but I
that.
keep losing. I watch a lot of stuff.
No, so you can go.
Is there a way to delete?
Yeah,
You can go to your activity.
I don't mind. I
and
don't
see that.
care.
But you
Yeah.
can also see what other sites they've tracked and how they you can just see everything. And you're 100% right that was more of the stuff that I was interested in erasing and less the photo of my high school graduation.
Right.
Because that's really that's
but
where they
I was
get.
thinking about it in my head, this
Yeah.
this whole concept in my head this morning, like, the whole privacy thing, and do I want them to have all this information about me, and blah, 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 and I'm kind of like, if I was sitting there in front of someone from Facebook, like, Mark Zuckerberg or whatever, I was sitting in front of him, I'd be like, by the way, showed me something irrelevant the other day. Screw you guys. Like, I'm giving you all the access. You have it.
Right.
I expect you to work hard to make
I
sure.
love it if you do like a lawsuit saying, hey, I'm giving you, like, the deal is this. I'm giving you all my data.
I expect
but
to see
at this
only
time-
relevant
Be
things.
efficient.
But if you circle back to kids and social, I think that as a parent, you have only one thing you can. There's two things you need to do for your kid, in general. Everything else.
Keep him off the pole. That's because I have a daughter.
It's a
What? It's a known
it's a-
thing.
It's good. Like
it's a
applies
cr-
to your son. Too.
It's a no. It's
Well, I don't mind if he gets on the pole.
Okay.
He's a very good
I
man.
think
He's gonna rake in the cash. Dollar bills, like paper cuts. Sorry.
okay. So 3 things you have to do for your kids. The keep you that's a Chris Rock reference.
Mhm.
I got that. Clear heels and the pole.
Yep.
Yeah.
Keep that girl off the bowl. That's my number one job.
I think there's two things you have to do for your kid. One is you have to build up their confidence. That's like you just like they're gonna get peer pressure. They're gonna get mocked at. They're gonna get people like saying shitty things about them. They're gonna be people saying, "Hey, dude, you should use Snapchat." And you're like, "No, I don't do that shit." And it's like, "No, dude, Snapchat."
Just snap it off.
So that's gonna happen. You're not gonna be able to protect your kid from like people, right? So you just have to work really hard on building their self-confidence a lot. That's what I think. And the second thing is I think that the next thing that you have to do for your kid is that you have to train them to work hard for what they want to get. And it comes out of the confidence thing in a way. But you just have to you have to teach them that they can be whatever they want. And you have to teach them that they can do it by hard work. And if you want to do something, you have to be fully engaged with it. And you can't be lazy and then be disappointed with yourself. And I think that if you give them these two things, the self-confidence and like a target, like work really hard in that direction. And you have to train them into being able to kind of manage the world as they grow. I think a lot of people think that they need to entertain their kid. Or I think they need to just have, like, maybe their kid always have fun. And I think a lot of parents, especially now.
No, I want them to struggle. If I could, I'd go Amish on them. Be like, no, go work the field, son.
Well, you were Instagramming them.
Yeah, well, I'm Instagramming. They would never know about it, but it threw in my hat.
Yeah.
Like, very stylish.
The new reality television show, Amish Kids.
Yeah, Amish kids that don't know their parents are, like, actually Instagramming them.
I think that's like a Jerry Springer episode.
That's a camera.
That's a Jerry Springer episode. Like, Amish kids who don't know their kids are using
I actually say
social.
this to my wife all the time. She's, like, saying, oh, I hope he gets into the class with all of his friends. Or, oh, I hope he I'm like, no, I don't care. And she's like, why don't you care? Don't you want to start there? I'm like, no, every little struggle that he's going to have right now is not going to kill him. And at the same time, will prepare him for other big
What I imagine is your kid is come saying, hey, we have a huge football match. I'm so excited. You're going to break his leg. It's like,
I'm like, now go. Now go. No, but he'll like say to me, like, I need the special soccer shoe. I'm like, no, you don't. You'll kick ass. I mean, freaking, what's his name? Neymar played in Jordans, like, when he was starting, because he had no money. But generally,
I would really feel that he would go for like barefooted and not.
No. He was like, he had like Jordans that were like old, like that's like retro ones.
Listen, that's like the most privileged.
I know, it's the coolest thing. No, but it was like. Like, for him, I'm guessing they were fake ones.
He was such a bad place that he had like an old Air Nike. Like a bad place.
He had the retros, the original.
Where like your older cousin is like kind of doing a self hug and you throw a brick at him.
He played the game with IKEA bags wrapped around his leg. That's what it was.
That's where I want to go.
God,
that's poor friend. No, but really,
that's
like,
true. He did just
but I think those are the two things you have to do for your kids. And then when you go on social. And social is kind of breaking down your self-confidence. That's what social media does. It's just about you feeling bad about yourself.
Or needing to paint a certain picture of what your life is.
It's so weird that, like, I understand that this is a general thing, but I don't
Have you ever read Hooked?
Yeah.
So he said, like, this Instagram has only 2 rules. You feeling lonely and FOMO. That's it. That's how they trigger you back.
What I want to create on Instagram is, like, I want a filter that shows me how much it costs to make that photo. So, like, I'll, like, be scrolling and see my friends, like, in Venice in this gorgeous new dress, like hair perfectly done, whatever. And I'm just like, it's not realistic. Like to reality check myself and be like, this is not a realistic.
I think the price tag you want to see is how how taking that picture damaged the relationship.
Yeah.
Because behind every picture,
interesting.
You know, one of the things that I hate the most, and I can say it because like Maria knows it, is that when we go into a situation and instead of being in a situation, we have to be, oh no, wait, and I'm like, I just want to eat warm food. I want to be in a conversation. Yeah. And not take out a selfie or I don't want to take a photo of it because it's just not fun. And admittedly, and we had this conversation, for me, social media is about branding. It's about marketing. I would not do any of it if it's just like for me as Roy Povarchik, like a person who, I don't know, works in something else. Yep. I feel it's horrible because what you're actually...
I do it for entertainment. Like, I just want to entertain people.
Yeah, but
I mean, I want to make people laugh and make them have fun and smile.
But there's a difference because what you're doing in a way...
Because I'm not really good at marketing, but generally, like,
because what you're
just having fun.
I think that if you would an alternate career, you would do like comedy and stand up. That's where you go.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're an entertainer. Yeah, this is a platform for you.
Yeah, so that's what I use it as.
Right. So most people, it's a projection of a certain view of their life they want the world to see.
It's funny, like in the beginning of Facebook when we were just starting, like not it just started, but when people started kind of like getting on there, I remember one of the biggest things was I need to have the most amount of friends. It was more about
Right.
like everyone wanted to show that they had the most amount of friends. It was this very funny concept to me. I was
But
like,
it's not.
I
That's the
don't really
thing. Wait,
care.
But it's not really funny. It really fucked up the way we see friendships. If you think about Facebook friends or the whole thing, it really fucked up how you see friendships in the real world. Who you feel is close to you, not. It really fucked you up. It fucked all of us up because you suddenly are.
No, I just don't think it was real. It didn't.
No,
It might have
up
fucked you up in
until
the
now,
beginning
it
of the
still fucks you
concept.
up. Every day.
No, I want more
Every day.
followers on my Instagram,
Not
but
the
it's only because I
followers
want to
thing.
entertain more people.
Not
But
the
it's not
followers
like
thing. You are being forced in a way to be closer to people you don't really care about, and you spend a lot of energy by actually being updated on their lives just because it's in your feed.
I mean, Facebook calling it friends was like the most genius thing
Yeah.
instead of saying connections or
I love
or anything.
looking at people's lives, but it doesn't make me spend more time with more people than I'm actually spending.
No, you spend
I
online
have
with
like
them.
2 people that are my main friends that I talk to every day, and that's it. Like that's it.
But then
Yeah,
why
but-
do you care to be updated about other people's?
It's just
other people
interesting to
then?
know what's going on in the world. To
But
have
it's not.
an
It's not
understanding.
going on in the world.
What?
It's not what's going on
It's
in the
not.
world.
It is.
What they
It's
want.
no.
It's around me, in my world.
Not really. Most.
Dude, I watch your stuff. I know where you are. I know what's going on there. We saw the Instagram event, which I was very bummed not to be invited.
Yeah, but
that's
Bummed
nice to know
not to
that
be
it-
invited.
No, but it was like
FOMO.
kind of like
Yeah.
no, but it was like I was bummed not to be invited because I was like if I would have only knew about it, I could have managed to be there because I would really love
Yeah.
to have been there. But it doesn't turn around and like ruin my day. It was just like, oh, damn it, and then I move on. But the idea to know these things are happening. There's tons of things going on that you just don't get to see. One of the coolest things for me as just a young kid in New York was like the subway. And I would use the subway even if I was the richest man in the world. And the reason why was because it's like
People
the
watch.
underground moving clock of the city. Like things are constantly moving, no matter what's going on top. Everything on the bottom is still moving. There's a whole world. And it was so cool to me. So the same concept here is like there's a whole world of things going on. And they're all interesting.
Yeah, but-
it's irrelevant. Like that's okay if you're saying that's your entertainment and that's something that you're like dedicating like 45 minutes to a day.
Maybe I was
then
raised
fine.
really well. I always told my parents, you sucked. You all sucked.
I have
But
to
now
tell
I
you
really
as a
think-
friend, you were not raised.
I was raised phenomenal. No, but I look at these
You
things
mu- you know,
very
maybe-
differently.
Self-awareness.
You maybe have a happy childhood.
I had
but-
a crappy childhood.
Yeah.
Dyslexic, man. No one even knew.
Yeah, so like.
And I was like my parents. I was like, how do you not know when your son comes up and goes, blue? And they're like, no, ball. You're in 7th grade. Come on. like
Get your shit together.
Get your shit together. Like, or even more like I was talking about how I think until I was like 10, I would sit really close to the TV and squint, and my dad would be like, "You're melting your brain." And then I have to go move back, and I squint like really, really hard to see. And then all of a sudden, one day, my grandpa comes in and he goes, "That kid needs glasses." And they're like, "Really? You think so?" I was like, "What the hell was wrong with you as parents? What were you like on crack? Like, what's happening here?"
So
No,
that
but I don't.
didn't turn out well for
my
you.
perspective. My dad used to do this thing when we were little, and I did it with my son also a little bit. When we would go to a very beautiful spot, see a beautiful view, something amazing, like Yosemite Park or something crazy. And he would say, "Okay, guys, when you look at it, when I count to 3, I want you to close your eyes and keep your eyes closed." So we look at it, and then he'd go 1, 2, 3, close your eyes, and he says, "You still see it?" And we're like, "Yeah." And he go, "Okay, you got a mental shot." Like if you, that was it.
We're
right?
not-
To,
we're
like,
not paying
own
for the
moment.
picture.
Yeah, we're not gonna get. But there was no camera. No, no. But the concept was like you had like these small moments where you appreciate the things so you can remember little
But you know
moments.
what? I think.
And I was building stories way before stories existed.
Listen, but
Instagram.
I think that's the exact thing between what we just said. Like you have to build your kids with the confidence and the tools to not the world is not managed to kind of handle the world. And I think you got those really well from your dad.
Everything else was shit though.
Maybe.
I'm just
No,
kidding, I'm just kidding.
wait, maybe. You know, maybe. But the essence of what you need to have as a kid, I think you got those. That's like we went from Facebook marketing, parents with social media,
I'm proud of all
therapy
this.
session. Well, you got it all.
Ilana's kind of pissed that she's here though.
Yeah, she's like
No, I
she's like when I said I can join in. She said when I said I can join in, I thought it's shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Anyway,
gotta be in the present.
yeah.
All right.
So wait.
Should we sum up?
Wait. Let's do 3 more minutes about actual Facebook marketing because we have to edit everything out anyway. And
We have
because,
insane Facebook marketing content here. I mean, it was really good what you said. We actually sat here very quietly and just listened.
Yeah, what you were talking
Yeah.
about was amazing.
it was like
Mind-blowing.
How long was
I'm
it?
just
Like,
here as
was,
the
what was it?
comedic,
Like 3 minutes, 5 minutes,
No,
10
no,
Are you
minutes?
kidding?
it
It was
was-
like 25 minutes your talk.
You could just do all of that
Yeah.
and just have like a short intro at the beginning.
Okay, so let's start wrapping it up and
Cool.
okay. that was funny,
amazing.
Jonathan. So,
And then he
no,
said,
okay. And-
"Doctor, I'm not a doctor. I'm a I don't know."
Anyway, so anyway, I think that most marketers just kind of suck in at actually just doing really good marketing and understanding their audience. And then you go and you blame it on Twitter, you blame it on Instagram, you blame it on LinkedIn. And I can tell you that with every client that we had, we managed to get thousands of leads through Instagram, through Facebook, through Snapchat, through every platform, if you just market it the right way. And you have to understand the platform you're working with, understand your audience, and how to story tell what you want to do. Also, last thing is that I think most companies, because they're not value focused and there's so much like, they're thinking about, oh, we need to get crazy ROI. You're not going to get crazy ROI from day one from your social media. You will from your advertising. You would not get it from your social media channels. So instead of like really bitching about it, you just have to say, how do you create the best content out there? And I think what's really amazing is I think Gary Vaynerchuk actually spends little money on Facebook ads, and he has more reach than most of the world's biggest brands because he's like so heavily focused on really engaging, being honest, giving value. And his engagement is like the craziest shit in the world. And he's not like he actually built his entire celebrity status from social media. He's like one of the most famous entrepreneurs right now. And if you think about his business, he didn't change anybody's life in the product that he does. He didn't invent an iPhone, he didn't invent Amazon. He literally just gave value to build up his presence. That's it. Nobody cares about his social media agency as like something he built in the world.
Yeah, I get it. So it's like Neil Patel kind of thing.
Yeah, Neil Patel the other way around. Yeah. Because Neil Patel is just like milking you for money. That's his whole thing. He's giving you Neil Patel would not give you any piece of content if he doesn't convert into money. Straight away. You think it's value.
I don't know. I keep thinking about the blog. That's what I'm saying.
So the blog is an SEO thing. His blog is every piece of content you get out there is 100% tied up to an SEO keyword he wants to win on. That's it. Like he doesn't care about teaching you. He just understands that's the best way to nurture you into his funnel. But Gary, and also like Neil is almost like a marketing celebrity versus just a celebrity. And Gary V actually built his status as a celebrity in the world, and he's now reaching to that level of celebrity. He's hanging out with his famous people. He's working
a sneaker. Come on, let's be honest.
Yeah,
he has his own sneaker, so he's cool.
And people are flipping him on eBay for like $1,000. His fucking sneakers. He's like a marketer selling sneakers of his own brand for thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
That's like he's big. Like, if you ask me, he can sell more shit than Justin Bieber in a second through his social media channels. Easily. Why? Because people would come to him and they would actually buy from him versus the little guy, Justin Bieber. Anyway,
I still think Bieber Fever would win, but I'm
okay.
going with you.
Anyway, so I think people are very confused between like them being bad marketers and not getting their market, or just not having the right strategy and saying, oh, Facebook is dead, it doesn't work. It 100% works.
Stop blaming the platform. That's what
right. The platform doesn't even matter. It's how you use it.
It's not the platform, it's the player. Boom. That's the sticker.
Episode title.
Episode title.
Episode title.
Okay, so...
All right, so...
Thank you, Ilana, for being with us.
Thanks,
that was
guys.
fun.
This was a really nice...
You were our first official guest on the show.
Yeah,
oh,
that's
wow.
true.
Really
God,
honored.
We're going to give you...
You're going to get a mug. Number one guest.
Number one
it's
guest.
It's the player, not the platform.
It's the player, not the platform.
Boom! It's been done. All right, so thank you for listening. I mean...
if you survived so far...
I don't know how the length of this is going to be, but it's going to be less than what it was originally. So you're welcome.
If you enjoy the podcast, so if you want to help us, please subscribe to the podcast and leave positive leave positive reviews, not just any review.
Yeah, if you have a less than positive review, then, send it in a personal mail.
Yeah, like...
No, but like, honestly, you guys are listening right now, and we're seeing numbers of people listening, and it's really nice, and
we know who you are.
Yeah, I got a lot of messages from people, which is really kind and sweet, and... feel free to also give us comments on what we can improve and questions that you'd like us to answer. Share this with your friends. Share it with, as Roy always says, if you have one person who could benefit from this podcast, share it with them. Improve their life. And share it with your grandma. That's what I always say. Tell her it's the new form of radio. That's what I tell my grandma. I just think that's funny. Sorry. Anyways, all right. So thanks a lot.
Thank you, everybody. And again, subscribe, review, share, send a funny message to Ilana saying she was amazing, because she was amazing. And if you have any comments, questions for the next shows, then just write it in the comments on whatever platform you're listening to it right now. So thank you so much for being with us. Thank you, Ilana.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Jonathan.
You're welcome.
Thank you, computer. Thank you, Rise, for hosting us.
Yes,
I'm not sure if by the end of the episode they want us to mention them anymore. But
we
thank
had
you so
3
much
Rises
for
in this one episode. That's kind of
Our pleasure.
Yeah. So thank you so much for hosting us, and have a great day, night, whatever. Customize this. Bye, guys.
Bye.